Welcome to Epic Oops. Today we're going to be talking about epic fails, specifically why we all suck at DIY home renovations. I'm a home expert from a major electronics retailer, and today we'll be going over everything from planning your project to tools and techniques that can help you achieve great results without throwing your money away. Whether it's painting a room or building a deck, there are a lot of projects around your home that you might want to tackle yourself. But before you do, check out this list of epic fails so you can hopefully avoid them yourself. So let's start with planning, because failing to plan is a recipe for failure. I know that sounds like a broken record, but believe me, people hear this all the time and they still don't do it. Even small projects like installing a ceiling fan or a shower head can go sideways. If you do, take some time to think it through beforehand. Things to consider include: how much time do you really have to work on this project? Do you have the necessary skills and tools? Can you get the materials delivered, or will you need to make multiple trips? If you are hiring contractors, when will they be available? What kind of permit do you need? Are there any local regulations that could affect your project? Or what happens if something goes wrong? These are just a few of the things to think about beforehand, so you are unsurprised by them later. If you do decide to move forward after doing some research, one thing you can do to ensure success is make detailed notes of everything you need. This includes all the materials, tools, and even equipment you might need to rent. For example, if you're putting in a new floor, take note of any transition strips you may need, especially if you're working with unusual shapes or sizes. It's also important to take accurate measurements and make detailed sketches. Then, once you've done that, add 10% to all your material calculations to allow for waste and extra costs. Projects always cost more than you think they will. Trust me, if you're tackling a big renovation, it's a good idea to break it up into smaller projects with their own timelines and budgets. That way you won't be overwhelmed and you can celebrate small victories along the way. Also, no matter what project you're taking on, set aside at least 10% of the overall budget for unexpected issues. Trust me, this will save you a lot of stress down the road. Now that you've got a game plan, it's time to start gathering your tools. Whether you already have the right tools or you need to get them, it's important to use the right tool for the job. Doing otherwise is an easy way to end up with an epic fail. For example, if you're doing a big paint job, using the right paint sprayer can make the project go a whole lot faster. There's nothing worse than having paint drip down the side of your house, though, because you didn't use the right sprayer. Another example is using the right drill bit for the job. A drill bit that's too small for the job can cause it to slip and damage the surface around the hole, you retrying to drill. On the other hand, a bit that's too big can cause it to snap off in the middle of the job, leaving you with a stripped out hole. If you need to rent equipment, it's a good idea to do that well in advance. Popular items like tile saws, floor buffers, and carpet cleaners tend to rent quickly, especially on weekends. You'll also want to make sure that you know how to operate any equipment you rent before you actually need it. Many rental companies offer short training courses so you can learn the ins and outs of the equipment. It's also a good idea to know what the different extension cords and hoses are rated for, so you do risk damaging them while you're reusing them. And finally, never run electrical tools or equipment outdoors without using a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI for short. This can help prevent serious injury or even death from electric shock. Okay, now that you have all your tools ready, it's time to start your project. But before you dive in, take some time to prepare the area. If you're painting a room, cover the floor with drop cloths and put painter's tape over any areas you do want painted. If you're doing any kind of demolition, turn off the water and electricity to that area first. And if you're working with drywall, place a dust barrier in the doorway to keep dust from spreading throughout your home. It's also important to wear the right clothing for the job. Work clothes that cover your arms and legs are ideal, but it's also a good idea to wear safety glasses and a dust mask while you're reworking. Hearing protection is also important if you're using loud power tools. Lastly, make sure the space is well ventilated. This is especially important if you're working with paints, stains, adhesives, or sealants. Next, follow the instructions. Yes, I know it sounds simple, but following the instructions for your specific project can help you avoid a lot of common mistakes. For example, if you're installing a new sink, make sure to follow the instructions for connecting the water lines and the drain. Following the manufacturer's instructions for cleaning and maintaining your tools can also help you get the longest life out of them. It's also a good idea to take your time and work carefully. Rushing a project is a great way to make mistakes that are hard to fix. For example, if you're putting in a backsplash, take your time measuring and cutting the tiles so they fit together properly. The same goes for anything that involves electrical or plumbing. Mistakes here can be costly to fix, so it's worth taking your time to get it right the first time. However, if you do make a mistake, don't panic. Try to stay calm and assess the situation. Some mistakes can be easily fixed with a little effort, while others may require calling in a professional. For example, if you accidentally put a hole in the drywall, you can patch it up yourself. But if you accidentally flood your bathroom by disconnecting a water line, it might be time to call a plumber. The key is not to try to hide the mistake or pretend it didn't happen. The longer you wait to address a problem, the worse it can become. Finally, it's important to know when to ask for help. We all want to be Mr. or Mrs. Handyman, but the truth is, there are some jobs that are best left to the professionals. If you're not comfortable doing a certain part of the job, it's always okay to ask for help. There are plenty of qualified contractors out there who can help you get the job done right. And in the long run, it's often cheaper to hire a pro than to try to do it yourself and end up making a costly mistake. But even if you do hire a contractor, it's still important to understand the basics of the project. That way you can communicate effectively and make sure the job gets done the way you want. Plus, understanding the basics can help you spot potential problems early on. As you finish up your project, take some time to clean up. After all, a renovation isn't complete until the work area is clean. Sweep or vacuum up any sawdust or debris and put away all your tools and materials. If you've made a mess while painting, take some time to clean the drop cloths and painter's tape. And if you've worked with adhesives or sealants, make sure to clean up the area as soon as possible. Cleaning up as you go can make the final cleanup a breeze and help you avoid a big mess at the end of the project. We hope this advice helps you avoid some of the most common renovation fails. Remember to plan ahead, use the right tools, take your time, and don't be afraid to ask for help. With a little preparation and know-how, you can tackle your next renovation project with confidence. If you're looking for more tips on tackling a DIY project, you can find more helpful videos and articles on our website. And if you're ready to get started on your next project, you can browse products on bestbuy.com or in one of our stores. Our knowledgeable sales associates are always happy to help you find the right product for your needs. So stop by and see us today.